I'm making 8 easy and quick crafts for Halloween for our dolls, starting off with miniature glow-in-the-dark jars. I'm starting off with these glow sticks. I've chosen a few different colours and I activate them all. I'm just showing you there with the lights off that they are glowing, and I have all different colours. And I'm going to be using little glass jars. I use scissors then to cut the glow stick. As a health and safety disclaimer, it would be a good idea to use gloves for this. I take the contents of the glow stick and let it drip into the jar. Squeezing as much out as I can. And give it a little shake. And this is our glow jar, and I've made them all different colours, and they will stay activated for you for a good few hours. My second craft today is making little bottles of potion or essential oils, and I'm just using beads and a hot glue gun. Placing a bigger bead on the bottom, a smaller bead on the top. It gives us a lovely little bottle, and you can mix and match all different sizes, all different colours. I'm using a range of red and silver and black beads here to give us a Halloween vibe. And this is so easy. You can do this in literally a couple of minutes and make lots of little miniatures for your dollhouse. Next up, I'm making a broomstick for my doll. I'm using sticks that I've gathered from my own yard. The bigger stick measures about 8 inches and the smaller ones are about 4 inches. Well, I cut them to be about 4 inches each. So I'm going to gather the smaller ones up in a bundle, try and make them as neat as possible at one end, and I'm putting a clear hair elastic around them to hold them in place. I'm applying some hot glue to the end of my bigger stick, and then I'm going to take the other end and push up through the middle of the brim, smaller sticks. Arrange them all nicely around the stick and make sure they're all attached to the glue. Then take some twine and wrap it around several times to hide the hair elastic and give it some extra security, as well as giving it a nice authentic look. Tie it in a couple of knots. And now your witch dolls are ready for Halloween flight. If there's any bits of hot glue showing through, once it's dried, you can just cover them up with a bit of brown paint. Moving on, I'm now making some vintage scrolls. I'm using this vintage effect paper that I have in my scrapbook supplies. If you don't, you just use ordinary printer paper and colour it in with brown pencils to make it look vintage. Cut a strip. For the first one, I'm just rolling this strip of paper really tightly. And then I'm going to put a black hair elastic around the middle. And you can make a bunch of different colours or different shades of brown, and they look really effective. I also take now a couple of wooden dowel rods cut to 2 inches long, cut another strip of my vintage paper, and hot glue one end of it to the centre of the wooden dowel. You want the paper to be narrower than the piece of wooden dowel. Start to roll it. Use some glue stick to hold the paper on to the roll as you roll. Then we're going to repeat those steps with the other end. Keep rolling the two ends until you've got a nice evenly rolled piece on each end. Take a brown pen or pencil and we'll do some little squiggles, some little lines of writing to give the look of vintage script. Might not be able to see it on the camera. You can leave it that way or you can roll it further together, and I'm going to put a piece of twine around it to hold it together. I also go ahead and wrap twine around my first scrolls that I made to hide the hair elastic. Makes them look extra vintage and authentic. So yeah, they're really, really cute. Next, I'm making some glitter globes in Halloween theme. I got these glass globes from Temu with a cork base. I have these pumpkin beads and I cut a piece of twig from my garden, made sure it was cut to size to actually fit inside the globe, and then I painted it black to make a miniature Halloween tree. I also sprinkled some glitter on it to give it that extra sparkle, and then I'm hot gluing it onto the cork base. And once it's dry, I'm also going to hot glue the pumpkin bead in front. While that's drying, I'm using some black and orange glitter, and I sprinkle some into the glass part of the globe. And make sure your glue on the cork base is completely dry before you attach these two items together. Put them together, give them a little shake, and we now have our very own Halloween themed glitter globe. I made a couple of different ones of these. I've got Jack from The Nightmare Before Christmas as a little charm, and that was pretty cute. Next up, I'm making a little bowl from half of a plastic capsule out of a vending machine. I place it on a flat back to give it a base, and I'm putting in some Mod Podge. And I'm mixing it with some glow-in-the-dark paint. Giving a little stir around with the coffee stirrer. And then I'm going to place some of my green beads in here, and some eyeball beads, and some miniature skulls. And when everything's dried here, a little bit of green glitter as well, a little extra sparkle. And when it dries in, we're going to have a glow-in-the-dark bowl of green eyeball slime or jelly. Next up, I'm making a paper chain, miniature paper chain for dolls. We cut a strip which is about 1 inch thick, and we fold it in half, and fold it in half again, and again. Keep repeating, folding in half exactly, keeping the edges completely aligned until you have a rectangle, a narrow, tall, narrow rectangle. And then I'm taking a pair of scissors now when we're cutting out, so when we're cutting our design for our paper chain, our pumpkin has to touch each edge, both sides, and on this tall, narrow rectangle, I'm cutting half of a pumpkin shape. So that's the bottom, and this is the top half. So I'm going to cut almost over to the middle, and then I'm going to cut upwards to make a stalk for a pumpkin. Come to the center fold and cut in, and cut a small triangle for one of the eyes. Move down the same folded edge and cut a straight line in. Move down slightly and cut a curved line up to meet your first straight line. Remove that piece. I'm just going to cut that stalk slightly shorter and unfold, and we have created a miniature pumpkin paper chain to decorate the dollhouse. Next up, I'm making a crystal ball. This must be the easiest craft I have here. Just a huge crystal bead and a wooden ring. It's a kid-size wooden ring. I had a bunch of them, and I'm just applying it hot glue around the edge and putting my bead inside. The ring makes it stand really steady. And now it's a perfect size for 1/6. And now it's the perfect size for a 1/6 scale doll. I hope you enjoyed watching today. If you did, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Halloween videos coming soon. See you in the next video. Bye bye.